Alexander Volkanovski defeated Max Holloway at UFC 276, fighting with a broken left thumb that he supposedly sustained in the second round. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. Quick video here just to highlight the insane toughness of Alexander Volkanovski here, as we'll talk about what's going on with this thumb fracture. Now, this injury supposedly occurred during the second round, and I couldn't find one specific punch or moment. This type of fracture pattern is, of course, the thumb. So this bone right here is the thumb metacarpal, or the first metacarpal. It's basically in sort of the palm of your thumb. So we classify these fractures as thumb base fractures. Now, this specific pattern of fracture looks to be one called a Bennett fracture. Essentially, it involves the joint. So of course, the joint of the base of the thumb is sort of extending right here, articulating with this bone called the trapezium. This bone down here is going to be the scaphoid. And so these thumb base fractures, there's a couple of key named ones. There's a Rolando fracture and a Bennett fracture. A Rolando fracture is much more comminuted, meaning there's more pieces of bone that are fractured. And from at least just seeing this one view, this looks to be what we would call a Bennett fracture. These typically occur whenever somebody's thumb is flexed, meaning it's bent this way, and then there's an axial load, meaning a force that sort of goes this way into the thumb, compressing that bone. So really, any of those moments from the second round, you can see where this potentially happened, as that left is sort of the arm that Volkanovski has extended, and so it's very susceptible to getting an axial load, causing that compressive force to cause the fracture. But this is a significant fracture. I mean, when we talk about characterizing fractures, we discuss their angulation. So if the bone is normally in this position, this angle right here is how angulated that fracture is. And that looks to be like 45 degrees, which is an extreme amount of angulation. It also looks to be a little bit displaced, meaning how shortened or away from its normal alignment the bone is. So this is certainly a fracture pattern that requires surgery. Now you can try to reduce it, meaning get that bone piece back in proper alignment. The problem is there's a lot of muscles and tendons that are pulling on this bone that will cause it to distract and go back out of place. With our biodigital anatomy tool here, I've highlighted basically what we're looking at with that CT scan. So this bone right here is going to be that first metacarpal, or the thumb metacarpal, and the fracture location is basically right down here in this area. So right through that chunk that's displaced off to the side. What we have are really a number of tendons that anchor onto that thumb base. One is the abductor pollicis longus that sort of brings the thumb out this way. On the back, we have the extensor pollicis longus that lifts the thumb up. And then on the inside, we have the adductor muscle that sort of brings the thumb back to the hand. So all these tendons are distracting forces to pull that piece of bone out of alignment, making surgery more necessary. Volk said that he's expected to be out for 12 weeks, and that fits the timeline with these types of fractures. There's a ton amount of force that goes through your thumb joint with just basic gripping. And so this is certainly a more significant injury than something like just a finger fracture that maybe you can heal without surgery. He should still be able to do some cardio, keep his fitness up, because it'll really just be his hand and thumb that are going to be immobilized. And this really shouldn't have any long-term implications on his career. Certainly could lead to some early arthritis developing in his thumb joint, but that's just going to be pain and wouldn't really affect his fighting. Nevertheless, he is an insanely tough dude to suffer that bad of a fracture and continue to fight for round 2 and on. I don't think I'd be able to hold a pen or blow my nose, let alone fight a UFC fight with that significant of a broken thumb. That's it for this video, everybody. Let me know as always any questions or comments down below, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.